Imagine somebody getting poisoned in December during the holidays, only to die towards the end of January. This story, it's almost complicated. A law student was found unresponsive in his hostel room barely 2 weeks after resumption on the 21st of January 2025 in Kampala International University in Uganda. The 23-year-old man by the name of Muhindo Morris was said to have suddenly stopped attending lectures when one of his neighbors/schoolmates went to check on him in his hostel room. But Muhindo wasn't responding. At first, they assumed he was sleeping and he wouldn't respond to his phone calls, and his room was somehow, some way quiet. A schoolmate of his became very concerned. It is possible that this said schoolmate also checked through the window to see Muhindo laying on his bed as though he was asleep. But after several knocks at the door, after calling his name multiple times, and he wasn't getting any response, he became very worried. And so he reached out to the hostel managers, the authorities in the school, and they came to Muhindo's room and broke the door open to find him laying as though he was asleep. They tried to wake him up, but he didn't wake up. And that was when they knew something bad had happened. Now, mind you, Muhindo had roommates, but at the time, this is 2 weeks of resumption, they resumed, as a law student, they had to resume earlier than other students, so his roommates weren't around. So pretty much were made to believe he was the only one in that room, and the door was locked from the inside. Muhindo was quickly rushed to the hospital where he was confirmed dead. This news kind of shocked the school. It's just 2 weeks after resumption and a student is already dying. People began speculating what could have happened, and this is normal. However, the speculation became worse when the autopsy result revealed that he died of poisoning. And here's the thing with autopsy results saying someone dies of poisoning. It's not very clear. Is it food poisoning? Was it gas poisoning? Water poisoning? Like, poisoning is just as clear as it is, it's a little vague. And usually when it comes to poisoning, they would have to also run a toxicology report. Now, I don't have any information regarding the toxicology report. If it's a food he had recently eaten the night before, or if it's something that he ate during the Christmas holiday. Rumors began spreading after the toxicology report came out that he saw his previous semester results and wasn't happy with it. And so therefore he decided to, unalive himself, taking some kind of substance that is usually given to rats for, rat poison per se. And that was what people started going around with. However, that rumor may have a problem because schoolmates of his who know him or classmates of his are saying that Muhindo was a good student, and the exam in which they are claiming he may have flunked, he hadn't even written it yet, or hadn't finished writing it yet. So it did not make sense that he would want to do that to himself because of an exam that he failed. Meanwhile, he's in his third year. So it wasn't like he's in his final year, as we would think that would be mostly when a lot of people would want to go extreme. I'm not very sure. Rumors that he did this because of an exam was most likely not true. And also the first responders, the people who came to the room to see his body, his schoolmate, the guy who was knocking at the door, when they went to his hostel room, they didn't see any rat poisoning. So they didn't see anything around him that was suspicious of the fact that he did that to himself. So that rumor was something that is convenient for people to spread around. But that's not the case. However, during his funeral, that was widely attended, by the way, his father revealed, allegedly, that he believes it's a family member that did that to his son. He believes that Muhindo was poisoned by a family during the Christmas holiday. I might be wrong, but it seems as though he's either the only son or the first son, or maybe one of the sons of his father. And his father is well-to-do. And according to what we also heard, his dad also said that he doesn't believe the son would do that to himself because he had bought multiple lands in his name. He had invested on so many things for his son. And the son is aware of how life will be good for him after school. Whether or not he passes or fails his exam, Muhindo was secured for life. And I think that was what the father was trying to put out there. Either that could be the reason why somebody would want to target him in his family, but it's definitely enough reason to prove that he wouldn't want to go like that. And I think that makes sense. If Muhindo is aware that his father had bought so many properties and land in his name, and he comes from a well-to-do home, His funeral was widely attended. By the way, the videos of his funeral procession seems as though it's a governor or some political leader that passed. I have never seen this much crowd in a young 23-year-old burial, and especially one that wasn't national situation. You know, if it's one of those freedom fighting heroic thing that he did, I would see that much crowd. But for a young man to have his funeral this much attended, I'm just going to assume his father was very notable and very well to do, because the burial was done at a different part of of Uganda. It wasn't done close to the school, so his body was taken back home to his hometown. So there's a lot of travel that would have to happen for people to attend. So I would not even guess it's many of his schoolmates that would attend it. But it just goes to show you that the father of this young man is well to do, and the school that he's attending is a private school for that matter. So he comes from a rich home. And it was also revealed that prior to his death, he had issues with his throat. And I think that is where the father believes that the poisoning may have stemmed from. That there's a chance that he had eaten something that started playing little by little in his system, that showed signs. And one of the signs was that he had struggled with eating food and chewing his food and swallowing them. And that situation started during the Christmas holiday. Now, I don't know if that counts as poison. For me, I think when somebody dies from poison, it can't take effect quick enough. If somebody got poisoned in December, unless the person consistently keeps going to the hospital for checkup, a poison can slowly kill somebody. But I always imagine that it would have to lead to bigger issues bit by bit, you know, from one swollen leg to a swollen stomach. Like, there got to be visible signs when a poison is taking so long to do its intended job. But it seemed as though for Mohindo, it wasn't very obvious in a way. He just had issues swallowing food. They said for him to eat a banana, he would have to take about 20 bites. And if that was the case, I feel like that would have been some kind of emergency to go to the hospital. And I don't know why they didn't take him to the hospital. I don't know why. It's just an unfortunate situation for the young man. I just feel bad that his life was cut short. I personally feel like if the father, like he said, had seen signs of his health struggling with any part of his body, that would have been an alarm to go to the hospital. And maybe the hospital would have seen it and they would have probably dealt with it a little bit. And again, it's the chance that most likely somebody targeted him in his family. I don't know. The father is well to do, so I can see that being a possibility. It's just unfortunate.